In the fall of 1773, the British government hits on what it thinks will be a way of taxing the colonies that they will actually welcome. The East India Company has a surplus of tea. Parliament decides to ship £500,000 of this tea to America at an extremely low price, with a nominal tax of 3 pennies a pound. The colonists, they reason, could not possibly object to paying less for their tea. In every colony where the tea is landed, there are loud protests. It is either sent back or stored unsold in warehouses. In Massachusetts, where Thomas Hutchinson is governor, the story will be different.
Hutchinson was the key figure in the major events of 1773, which really precipitated the American Revolution. And I think it's fair, it's not an exaggeration to say that if he had acted differently, I'd have a different passport.
November 28, 1773. The first ship loaded with East India tea arrives in Boston Harbor. By law, the tea tax must be paid within 3 weeks. The decision over what to do next is squarely in the hands of Governor Thomas Hutchinson.
I lie awake whole nights in fear that I shall be called to account in England for my neglect of duty to the king.
Hutchinson could have written to England and said, I know the law, I know my duty, but I cannot enforce the law. It's physically impossible. But he didn't.
It's a standoff between the radicals. We dare you to have this tea unloaded. We're strong enough, we're powerful enough now, we're organized enough to make a power play against you. And Hutchinson, who says, you will not humiliate me, you will not defy English law like this. I will see this tea unloaded and delivered as it should be.
Then, on December 16, 1773, the day the tax must be paid, a group of men dressed up as Mohawk Indians dumped 340 chests of tea into Boston Harbor.
The Tea Party was a very limited act of violence, in fact. They do nothing but dump tea. A padlock is broken, it's replaced. We think of this as a lot of yahooing and yelping and noise. It was just sort of ploop, ploop, ploop. They were very, very careful to keep this from getting out of hand.
We're all throwing the tea overboard. We catch someone in our party trying to stuff some of the tea into his pockets. He is stripped of his booty and his clothes, and we send him home naked, in disgrace. Then we went home, in an orderly fashion. Boston enjoys the most peaceful night it has had in many a month.
There was a lot of anger in London about the dumping of the tea. What this is a public display of defiance. And that kind of element of defiance, more than the constitutional formulations, is more important. This is gesture politics on the big scale, and it's very successful. We still, to this day, remember the Boston Tea Party. It's one of the most successful examples of gesture politics, and it was a gesture that the British government understood.